Hello children, your Vanashree ma'am is back with your physics lesson matter part 2. Okay, so in our part 1 we have studied the different states of matter, that is solids, liquids and gases, and we have studied the differences of the states of matter in the different three states, that is solids, liquids, gases. Okay, now we will learn change of state in matter. Okay, change of state in matter. Okay, change of state means once change of state from solid state to liquid state, liquid to gas, and vice versa, gas to liquid and liquid to solid. So these are all called change of state. So now let us learn one by one. So the first change of state is known as melting or fusion. Melting or fusion. Okay, both mean same. Now what is melting or fusion? Change of state from solid to liquid. That is, in melting or fusion, basically the change of state happens from solid state to liquid state. Okay, so it is a physical process. This is a physical process, not a chemical reaction in which chemicals are heated under certain conditions, temperature, pressure, nothing like that. But it is a physical process in which the state of a substance changes. From which state? That is from solid to liquid. But this happens at a fixed temperature. Okay, this happens at a fixed temperature. That is, at a particular temperature this change of state happens. What is that? Solid to liquid. Okay, now the temperature or the fixed temperature at which the solid changes to liquid is called melting point, and the process in which a solid substance changes to liquid substance is called melting or fusion. This happens by absorption of heat, means there should be some absorption of heat happens, means what? It absorbs the heat from the surroundings. Okay, sometimes you may need to heat slightly, so then the solid melts into liquid. So the definition of melting or fusion is melting or fusion is a physical process. Is a physical process. Now it results in what? That results, physical process that results in the change of state of a substance from solid to liquid by absorption of heat. Means it absorbs heat either from the surrounding, or sometimes you may have to supply a small amount of heat by heating the solid. Okay, by a change of state from solid to liquid, that is more important. Okay, and how does it happen? By absorbing heat. Okay, so that is the definition of melting or fusion. So let me repeat, do you understand? Melting or fusion is a physical process that results in what? In the change of state of a substance from solid to liquid by absorbing heat. Okay, now this happens at a fixed temperature. Okay, So the fixed temperature at which a solid changes to liquid is called melting point. So the next term is melting point. So every substance, every solid has a melting point. So the definition of melting point is the fixed temperature at which a solid changes into liquid is called its melting point. Now let me give you an example. You know, ice changes into water. Ice at 0 degrees centigrade, when you keep it out, it starts melting and it melts into water which is also at 0 degrees centigrade. Okay, so this is an example of melting of ice, and the temperature 0 degrees centigrade is the melting point of ice. Okay, so ice melts at 0 degree centigrade to water at 0 degree centigrade when exposed to outside atmosphere. That is, when you take it out from the deep freezer of the refrigerator and you leave it outside, then the ice melts and becomes water at 0 degree centigrade. So this 0 degree centigrade is called the melting point of ice. Okay. So what happens is, whenever heat is supplied to a substance, or when a solid substance absorbs heat, the molecules in the subsolid are tightly packed. That you have learnt in your last class. So these molecules, when heat is supplied, heat is a form of energy, so they gain energy and they start vibrating and they overcome the intermolecular force of attraction, and the intermolecular space between the molecule increases so that it becomes equal to that of liquids and the solid changes to liquid state. Okay, so that is the theory behind melting of a solid. Now evaporation, very important term. Evaporation, very important term. Okay, now the process during which a liquid changes to gaseous state at any temperature below its boiling point is called evaporation. Okay, let me repeat. The process during which a liquid changes into gas state at any temperature, that is, without supplying any heat, when it starts changing into liquid state, then we call it evaporation. Now for example, if suppose water falls on the ground, okay, if you leave it as it is, you will find that after an hour or so, that water is no more there. So what has happened? The water has evaporated into water vapor at ordinary temperature, at normal temperature, and it has changed from liquid state to gaseous state. Okay, so evaporation is a process during which a liquid changes into gaseous state at all temperatures, even in the night, even in the daytime, even in the afternoon. The temperatures are different, but water, if it is left just open, it will start evaporating and the liquid will change into water vapor. Water vapor is the gaseous state and water is the liquid state. So evaporation is again a physical process in which the liquid changes into gaseous state at all temperatures. Okay. So I will do the next term, that is vaporization, which takes place when heat is supplied to it. Okay. Okay. Now evaporation is the definition. Evaporation is a physical process in which a liquid changes to gaseous state at all temperatures. At all temperatures is very important. Why? Like in melting, you have learned that it happens at a fixed temperature, but here there is no such fixed temperature. This happens at all temperatures. Okay, at all temperatures. Okay. So the example is, if you find water has fallen on the ground, after some time you will find that the whole water has evaporated and there is no trace of water. So at all temperatures this water changes into gas without any heating required, without any fixed temperature. Okay, that is called evaporation. Now another process is called vaporization. Now in vaporization, when you bring a liquid to boil, it changes into gaseous state. So that is called vaporization, or another name given to it is boiling. Okay. So boiling Boiling is again a physical process that results in the change of a substance from liquid state to gaseous state, but at a fixed temperature. Do you understand the difference between evaporation and boiling? Boiling happens at a fixed temperature, that is, you have to heat the substance to that temperature, only then the substance changes from liquid to gaseous state, and that temperature at which the liquid substance changes to its gaseous state is called the boiling point of the liquid, similar to the melting point of a solid. Okay, understood? So let us define first boiling. Boiling is a physical process that takes place at a fixed temperature by the absorption of heat by the absorption of heat Okay. Now what happens? What is the change that is happening? Takes place at a fixed temperature by the absorption of heat, and a substance changes from its liquid state to its gaseous state. So the best example is when you boil water. Okay, boiling of water. Boiling of water. So when you start heating water in a vessel, it does not start immediately boiling, isn't it? So at 100 degrees Celsius, the water starts boiling and the water starts changing from liquid to gaseous state, and the water changes to steam or water vapor. So that is the gaseous state of water. So that temperature 100 degrees Celsius at which the water starts changing to steam or water vapor is called the boiling point of water. Okay, so at 100 degree C, at 100 degrees C, water starts boiling. So this does not happen at all temperatures like evaporation. Okay, so at 100 degrees C, water starts boiling and changes to steam, or the gas. This is the water vapor, that is the gaseous state of water. So this under the temperature at which the water changes is called the boiling point of water. So boiling point of water is what? The fixed temperature at which the fixed temperature at which, that is 100 degrees C, water starts boiling and changes to steam is called boiling point of water. So every liquid has a different boiling point. At different temperatures, the liquids boil. Okay, different temperatures, the liquids boil, and those those temperatures are called the boiling points of those liquids. Okay, some liquids start boiling at 80 degrees Celsius, some liquids boil at 60 degrees Celsius. So those are the boiling points of those liquids. Okay, now is that clear? So till now we have learnt about melting, the process of melting, then we have learnt about melting point of solids, then we have learned the process of evaporation, then we learned the process of boiling. Okay, evaporation and boiling, there is a slight difference. Evaporation is change of state of substance in liquid state to gaseous state at all temperatures, and boiling is a change of state of liquid to gaseous state at a fixed temperature. That is the process of boiling. Okay, now the next term that we will be learning is condensation. Condensation. So this is a change of state from gas to liquid. Okay, condensation is the change of state from gas to liquid. Okay, now how do we define this? Condensation is a physical process that results in the change of a substance from gas to liquid state on cooling. So this happens when you cool. Okay, the fixed temperature at which a gas changes into its liquid state is called its condensation point. Okay, so condensation, let us define condensation is a physical process. Condensation is a physical process that results in change of state of a substance, from gaseous to liquid state, okay, at a fixed temperature. Okay, and this change of state happens by cooling. Okay, it happens by cooling. Okay, so this fixed temperature is called condensation point. Okay, now the example is when you heat water. Okay, so and suppose the vessel in which you are boiling the water is covered with a lid. Now if you remove the lid from the hot vessel in which water is boiling, if you take it out, then you will find that underneath the lid you will find small droplets of water. So how has these droplets of water formed? Because of condensation, because the steam which came out from the boiling water, that is when you are boiling the water changed into liquid to gaseous state or steam state, and then that steam got cooled. When you removed the lid and took it away from the vessel, those steam or water vapors they cooled and they converted to liquid state, that is water state. Okay, so that is called condensation. Then freezing. Now freezing is again a physical process in which a substance changes from liquid to solid state. So freezing is a process in which it changes from liquid to solid. Okay, so now let us define freezing. Freezing is a physical process that results in the change of a state of a substance from liquid to solid on cooling. Okay, so freezing is defined as freezing is a physical process in which a substance in which a substance changes its state from liquid to solid, from liquid to solid. Okay. Now this change also takes place on cooling. Okay. So now the best example is change of water at 0 degree centigrade into ice at 0 degree centigrade on cooling is an example of freezing. So when you keep water in the freezer, you find that the water solidifies to ice. So this is called freezing. And at the zero temperature at which water frozen or water freezes into ice is called the freezing point of water. That is at 0 degree centigrade, water changes from liquid to gaseous state. Okay. Then sublimation. Very important. Sublimation is a process in which the state of matter of a substance changes from solid to liquid gas. Sublimation is a process in which a solid changes to gaseous state. Okay. So it is a transition of a substance in which directly a solid changes to gas. But usually what? A solid first changes to liquid, isn't it? Then the liquid changes to gas. Okay. But here what is happening? A solid directly changes to gas. So that process is called sublimation. So let us define sublimation. Sublimation is a process in which a substance directly changes from its solid state to gaseous state. Okay. Now the next example is naphthalene balls and the camphor. Okay. You must have seen that mummy must be using white naphthalene balls, isn't it, in cupboards, closets, etc. So there the white colored ground balls becomes smaller. Okay. Why? Because they become gradually smaller and then they gradually vanish. Why? Because the substance is continuously changing from solid to gaseous state. Similarly, camphor or kapoor, which we say, when kapoor is also left out open, they also vanish or sublimes. That is called sublimation, or the process is called subliming. Okay. So sublimation is a process in which a substance directly changes from solid to gaseous state without changing into liquid state. Okay. So that is called sublimation. Okay. Then deposition. The last definition that you will be learning is deposition. Deposition. Deposition is a change of state from gas to solid. Okay. Here change of state is happening from gas directly to solid, means without the gas changing to the liquid state, it is changing to solid. Like in sublimation, the solid directly changed to its gaseous state. Similarly, in deposition, the gas is directly changing to solid state. Okay. So let us define deposition. This is the last definition in your lesson. That is, deposition is a process in which a substance directly changes from gaseous to solid state. So this is the best example is in winter nights. You must have seen water vapor changes directly into ice, such as snowflakes and frost. This is not very common in Mumbai, but in winter countries, in even in the northern part of India, in winter you can see snowflakes and frost. That is the process of converting of water vapor to directly to ice, that is from gaseous state to liquid solid state. So deposition is defined as the process in which a substance directly changes from gaseous state to solid state. Okay. So that is the definition of deposition. So my dear children, this completes the chapter matter. Okay. Now all these definitions, each and every definition is very, very important, and you have to study each and every definition, my dear children. You have to by heart these definitions and request your parents to take up the definitions. Okay children, so I am giving work to your parents also. So take up, you by heart, you learn the definitions and ask your mama or papa or any elderly person to take up whether you are able to tell the definition of each and every term without looking at it. Okay, is that clear? Okay, now I will be giving you a worksheet also for this chapter matter. Okay, very soon you will get a worksheet also. Okay children, thank you for listening. Take care. God bless you.